Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I've borrowed this 2023 GMC Yukon Denali from my friends at Morgan Buick GMC. If you want to know more about this particular model or anything else they have in stock for that matter, check out the link down in the description of the video. And in today's video, we're going to give you the information to answer the question, is this the best full-size SUV? It definitely brings a lot of advantages to the table, including a roomy, spacious, and comfortable, well, roomy and spacious, don't those go together? Well, it's comfortable as well. Interior, you have plentiful space with cargo capacity, a comfortable ride quality, and a quiet experience driving down the road, even at highway speeds. And you obviously have the 6.2-liter V8 available here. This is what we're going to have in this particular case, plentiful horsepower. Let's dig a little bit deeper into this model and see exactly what it's all about. If you're curious, the exterior color is sterling metallic, but obviously there are multiple colors to choose from. You saw the jet black interior, and the lighting on the exterior of the vehicle, everywhere you look, is going to be LED. So LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED tail lights. We're gonna have the fog lights down there on the lower portion of the front end, obviously on the bumper here, and a nice large grille. Really helps the aggressive look of this model. You will have your forward-facing camera right here, but one thing you won't have, and I don't know how many of you are that concerned about it, but you won't have a front camera washer here. You may have seen me demonstrate that in some of my GMC Sierra videos, but that is an option you can get there, but it's not here. You will have two-wheel drive in this case. Four-wheel drive is available. And how about tire and wheel size? We're looking at 275 on our width. Your sidewall size is going to be 50, and that's wrapped around a 22-inch wheel. And as we work our way up to the side view mirror, it's going to have the body-colored mirror caps, turn signal indicators built in, a little gloss black on the bottom there. You will see the camera, so you're gonna have multiple camera views all over this model. We'll take a look at all of those when we get into the interior. Power adjustable, going to have the turn signal, or excuse me, the blind spot monitoring built in right there. And let me turn this off just so we don't bother anybody with that dinging. But if you push this button, you see that you also have power folding side view mirrors. So if you're curious about whether or not this model has that feature, well, now you know that it does. And something that will be very useful to you parents out there, passive entry. That's what this button is for right here. Why is it useful to parents, especially when you have little ones that are in car seats? Well, you can come back here because it's probably where you're going to come first. You can push that button and lock or unlock all four doors from the rear on both sides. That's a big advantage. And if you don't like the power side steps to get in and out of the vehicle, well, you don't have to have those. You can have the affixed side steps. And here is the remote for 2023. You can see what's here. Very nice, very easy to use, but very effective. Lock, unlock, you do have remote start right here. And then the power tailgate, all of that is here to open and close. Pretty simple to use, pretty simple to figure out. We'll finish things off here with the LED taillights. A very nice look, pretty clean back here. For this model of vehicle, I think it looks really nice. You do have the nice rear roof spoiler coming off the top of the Yukon, and just my personal preference, but I'm going to show you since it's here, or maybe show you what's not here. You don't have the rear window wiper out in the open here. That's neatly tucked away inside of the rear roof spoiler. That just cleans things up, makes it look a little bit nicer. And we finish things off with the quad tip exhaust. What exactly is that connected to as far as the engine goes? Let's pop the hood and find out. And under the hood, I really mentioned this earlier in the video, so you know what's here. The 6.2-liter V8, the largest engine available for these Yukons. It makes a plentiful 420 horsepower. The torque numbers come in at 460, and it's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And how about MPGs? In case you're curious, I will share that with you. 14 city, 20 highway, 16 combined. and 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. This model has a 24-gallon gas tank, in case you were wondering. And in case you were curious about using remote start, well, here's something to know about that. You don't have to lock the doors. You just push the button twice. It's going to lock the doors for you, so let's do that. And then to shut it off, just going to push that button again, shuts everything back off, and there you go. Pretty simple to use, but for those who may have not seen that before, now you know how that works. Hopefully I answered a question. If you want to tow with your Yukon, it can tow up to 7,800 pounds. And there's a few different ways you can open this power lift gate. You can use the button that's located right inside here. Just reach in there, you'll find the button. There's a button on the interior. You can also use the remote, or if it wasn't so bright out here, you could actually see a GMC logo on the ground down there being projected. You can just swipe your foot. You can also kick your foot if you want to, but I like to swipe. That way I know for sure that I get what I need out of that. Now, there is one thing I want to show you. Let's say you come back here to use that particular feature or anything that you have going on that you choose, whether it's on the remote or the tailgate or whatever the case is, and it doesn't open. Here is the number one thing to check, and most likely what the issue is. You don't need to go to the dealership, go to service to get this fixed. Come right here to the upper console. You're going to be looking at this switch. So you'll notice that you have max, you have 3/4, and you also have off. If it's not working, it's most likely set to off. Cargo capacity begins at 41.5 cubic feet up to a very plentiful 144.7 cubic feet. There is a spare tire located underneath the vehicle, so that is here. The tools to change that are located in this area. And if you want to, look at that. All you do is open that compartment up. You have some extra space for storing things under there. It stays out of the way, and then you just pull on that to get it down again. Now, if you want to lower the rear seats, obviously this third row, the middle row and the third row will coincide with where everything is located. That makes sense, doesn't it? So let's lower these. Now there is one difference here, and I'll fix that in just a second, where we can put that all the way down. But the difference is going to be that you can use the buttons to lower the middle row seats, but you'll have to go and manually bring those back up. Not so with these seats here in the rear area. Now, one thing I do want to show you, notice what happened right there. If I hold that button down and let go of it before the seat's all the way up, it's going to stop where it is. So you actually need to hold the button down the whole time to actually do that, to actually get it to come down. So for those of you who like to see everything maximized, there is what your cargo capacity looks like, completely maximized. I'll give you a couple of different views. Obviously, there's a lot of options and a lot of potentials for what you can do here. You have plenty of height, you have plenty of width, there's a lot of room back here. And there is a panoramic sunroof here in case you are curious. That's what the view is, at least from this point. And I do want to show you something else that's very important, and that is the fact that these middle row seats can move back and forth quite a bit. So if rear seat passengers need some extra leg room, I don't know how realistic it is to bring the seat all the way forward like that. It just depends on who's sitting there, because that is going to take a lot of leg space away from them. You can see I have this area maximized. And if you're wondering how to bring that forward, that's what this lever is for. I don't know if I can do that one-handed. Yep, I can. That's how you'll move that back and forth. And just a couple more things to show you back here in this rear area. You do have cargo lighting, and you also have the power outlet right here. Kind of a nice option if you take this Yukon out for tailgating. Obviously, you can push that button to close this rear door. Now, when it comes to gaining access to the rear seating area, that's pretty easy to deal with. So we're going to actually push, or we'll pull on that, kind of pull it up. See, it says ×2. So what we're going to do is do that. And then we do it twice, and it actually gets the seat completely up and out of the way. Now, let's see here if I can do this one-handed without making a mess of the scene. So you can see what we have here. quite a bit of leg space, and that is with the seat moved all the way forward, and that's with the seat all the way back. Yeah, it's a little tight, but you know what? I could live with it. I have a ton of head space back here, plenty of room, and you have the pass-through right there to make it easier to gain access to and get out of this area. Also find a couple of cup holders right here and a USB port. And in case you were curious, there's what things look like from the third row with the panoramic sunroof. And here with the rear doors, you're going to find a very comfortable armrest. It's also very large. Easy to fit your arm up there. It is nice and comfortable. And we'll have the upper and the lower door bins. Quite a bit of space here. The Denali logo here on the door sill. And a couple of seat pockets on the back of the seats right here. And in case you were curious and wondered, can you hide away that sunroof up there? Yes, you can. There's the power shade. Everything is controlled up there from that upper console that I showed you earlier on controlling the power tailgate or power lift gate. And here is the control center for your third zone of climate control. So you have tri-zone that you can control. And then down here, we're going to have a couple of USB ports and then another power outlet right there. A lot of options where everything is concerned. Plenty of space, plenty of leg room here in this model. That's a good thing. Whether you're in the second row or even back there in that third row, as I showed you, you have multiple options where that is concerned. Yes, there are air conditioning vents beyond just what we have in the rear. You also have them up there on the roof as well in this area right here. So what do you think about that? Do you like that better than having them on the rear of the center console? Plenty of cup holders throughout as well. Nobody's going to go thirsty, at least based on space that's available for drinks. And just as is the case with the rear doors, the front doors will have plentiful space with the upper and the lower door bins. Those nice comfortable armrests, nice materials throughout that are nice and solid. And then power seats for the driver and the passenger. There's that Denali logo again, and we'll have the nice large glove box that doesn't have any gloves in it, but it does have some space in there. I guess you could put gloves in there. Space right here for, well, whatever you can manage to fit. So let's see here. Now you might reach up here looking for a place to grab onto something to get in. Well, you'll actually have to use the grab handle that's right here. You can see it over there on the driver's side. That will help in that respect. Don't know that it's that big of a deal, but that's what you have. A nice look across the dash. Looks pretty modern, I think. These models were redesigned for the 2021 model year, so don't know if we'll see big changes for 25. We'll just have to wait and see. It's definitely not going to be for 2024, but I don't know that it's quite time just yet anyway. So if you want to conceal everything away and just kind of give a little cleaner look right here, you can do that. You also have a couple of USB options there and a 12-volt power outlet. There's your wireless charging pad. And again, let's do both sides. There we go. So there's your clean look if you want to do that, or you can have access to the cup holders. And right here, we have space to put the cell phone. And you actually could buy an aftermarket, no tongue twists, aftermarket charger to go right there that actually plug in back in this area. That's one thing that's different between these and the 2022 and newer GMC Sierra 1500s is that you don't have this area for the additional phone charger. That is still here. Obviously, the lid for the center console doubling as an armrest. Plenty of space on top, plenty of space within. So a lot of options where that's concerned. And as I was telling you earlier, you can control everything with the sunroof right here as far as the shade goes. Obviously, it does tilt and slide open. And you saw everything basically that we have here on the driver's side door as far as the door panel goes. Controls for the windows, the side view mirrors, unlocking and locking the doors if you want to use that, and seat memory right here. Two different settings for that. Also, we're going to again have that Denali logo right there. The power driver's seat, if you want to change driving modes, that's here. Control the lights on the exterior of the vehicle, your power parking brake. Safety features are right here. And yes, you have a head-up display. You can control the functionality of that, how bright it is, its position, and what information is displayed there. as well as the power adjustable, tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. So let's take a look at what we have here with the graphics that come up on the instrument cluster and the touch screen. I'll let you see what's there because we're just giving you an idea of literally everything that is here. So a very easy to use and manage instrument cluster. As far as the driver's display goes, you can go in here and go through quite a bit of information depending on what you want to know about. You can do that. It's pretty simple to use. I probably don't need to tell you too much about what's going on there. As far as that goes, you can change your display layout. You can change what it looks like. Literally every single area. All I'm doing is scrolling with the wheel right there, and you just push on that to make your selections. And if you get to a point and say, you know what, I just don't like the way that looks, I think I want to reset, well, there you go. You can reset that. And one thing that I know there are varying opinions about, you have the push button shifter right here. Really not everything is push, because you pull to go into reverse, you push to go into neutral, you pull to go into drive, and you push to go into park. So it's a push-pull combination on the shifter right there. But do you like that? Would you rather see something down here, or would you rather see a column shifter? I'm always curious to know what your thoughts are. And the 10.2-inch diagonal touchscreen, very easy to use. You do have Google Assistant built in here. I'm not going to demonstrate that because I don't want to set off any devices in your homes. It's happened before, so I know it can. But you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto here. Everything is very easy to use. You can go into your settings right here, and boy, there's just about everything you can imagine that you might want to change or know about. It's all here. As far as the model goes that we're looking at, this Yukon Denali, updates right there. And then we're going to go right here to vehicle just to show you what's here. Teen driver, rear seat reminder. If you want to turn off buckle to drive, you can do it right there. I do encourage you to use your seatbelt when you're driving, but you might be in a place where you don't need your seatbelt. Driving around in a parking lot, changing spaces at work, I don't know. There's a lot of different things. And you don't need your seatbelt in those situations because you're not driving fast enough. Well, at least you shouldn't be. Some of you might be, though. You never know. But you can see what all is here. Obviously, you can tow with this model. It does tow quite a bit. So you can go in and make a lot of changes. You can go and do your light test right there if you want to. I'm not going to demonstrate all of that, but just in case you wanted to know, well, that's what's here. And when you go into reverse, obviously your cameras are going to come on, but you don't have to be in reverse to do that. You can go right here and push that. You'll see the overhead view. You have a couple of different views here as far as the front and the rear camera go. You can see right there. We also have a front and rear view overhead. So if you were needing to pull into a place where maybe into a car wash where there's no attendant to help you to get lined up, or whatever the case is, a parking space, maybe it's a little tight, well, that's useful in that respect. And those side view mirror cameras, I showed you those earlier. That's what they look like. And then we have a couple more views here as far as the overall vehicle goes. So you can see literally everything. Like I said, the good thing about that is you don't have to go into reverse to use that. And here is your dual zone climate control that you have for the front. You can sync those together, control fan speed, direction of the airflow, and you have not only heated, but also ventilated seats. That is always a benefit. And I showed you a couple of things that are up here on the upper console earlier, but there's actually another button right here. What does that do? It moves the power sliding console. And there's multiple reasons why you may wish to do that. You may want to use the space here. It would make things easier for rear seat passengers to reach up and get their drinks out of those rear drink holders right there. And there's just a lot of options going on here. You even have additional space right here with the slide out drawer. I'll tell you what, you're getting quite a bit as far as what you're paying for. Let me see if I can get my arm out of the way here and show you how that looks when we slide it back forward again. And if you're wondering about driving modes, I almost forgot to tell you about that. So here we go with our driving modes. We have sport, we have normal, tow haul mode, and then we're going to have snow and ice. And then we go back to sport. Those are your driving modes. So now it's your turn to answer the question. Tell me what you think. Is this 2023 GMC Yukon Denali the best full-size SUV? Tell me what your answer is and tell me why you answered the way that you did. I want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Yukon for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video and would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so just yet. That way you can see future videos.